Everyone, please stand.
Rage on that beat, going crazy.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear
that I will faithfully execute
that I will faithfully execute
the office of President of the United States
the office of President of the United States
and will, to the best of my ability,
and will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
Chief Justice Roberts, President Carter, President Clinton, President Bush, President Obama, fellow Americans, and people of the world, thank you. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning. Because today, we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, or from one party to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. We will build new roads and highways and bridges and airports and tunnels and railways all across our wonderful nation. The Bible tells us how good and pleasant it is when God's people live together in unity. We must speak our minds openly, debate our disagreements honestly, but always pursue solidarity. The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action.
Donald Trump was born on the 14th of June 1946 into a wealthy family. Trump's family fortune began when his grandfather Frederick Trump pulled in a fortune by operating restaurants and boarding houses in the boom town of Seattle. By the time Trump was 27, he had already owned 14,000 apartments and was running the Trump Management Corporation. His other business ventures include golf courses, casinos, vodka brand, although he never drinking alcohol, and of course media production. Trump has been sued 3,500 times by his business partners, contractors, clients, employees, and banks. He has never filed for personal bankruptcy, but between 1991 and 2009, he had been filed for bankruptcy 4 times for his business properties. Trump quipped that about bankruptcy applications. "I do play with bankruptcy laws, they are very good for me, as a way of cutting debt." Before being elected President of the United States, Donald Trump had produced reality TV shows The Apprentice and The Celebrity Apprentice from 2004 to 2015 and was got $375,000 for each episode of the show. He also made dozens of cameo appearances in films, television series, and advertisements since the 1980s. At the 39th Golden Raspberry Awards, he won Worst Actor for playing himself. Donald Trump's inclination towards beautiful women is no more a secret, and to justify it he co-owns the Miss Universe organization. Trump has been married 3 times. His first wife was Ivana Zelnikova, his second wife was Marla Maples, and his current wife is Melania Knauss. Melania Trump was born in Novo Mesto, Slovenia in 1970. She is the only First Lady to have grown up in a communist country, when Slovenia was part of Yugoslavia. She is also the only First Lady to have posed nude for magazines, including a British GQ photo spread in 2000.
Today, I want to speak with you about coronavirus and what it means for you and your family. While changes need to be made now, this is not how we will live forever. Our children will return to school, people will return to work.
Besides all these, the American presidency and his policies brought Donald Trump to the world agenda. In fact, Trump's political career goes back to very old times. He was registered as a Republican in 1987. He then changed to the Independence Party in 1999, and then changed to a Democrat in 2001. Finally, he changed back to a Republican in 2009. It was something already known to the environment Trump wanted to be president. On the 19th of March 2000, The Simpsons predicted in its 17th episode about Donald Trump that he may become the President of the United States. The 2016 presidential campaign of Donald Trump was formally launched on June 16, 2015, at Trump Tower in New York City. Unexpectedly, on November 8, 2016, Trump received nearly 2.9 million fewer popular votes than Clinton. However, Trump received 304 pledged electoral votes versus 227 for Clinton. Simply, he had won because he was elected in more populated states. Trump's victory was considered a stunning political upset by most observers, as polls had consistently showed Hillary Clinton with a nationwide lead, as well as a favorable advantage in most of the competitive states. Trump's support had been modestly underestimated throughout his campaign, and many observers blamed errors in polls, partially attributed to pollsters overestimating Clinton's support among well-educated and non-white voters, while underestimating Trump's support among white working-class voters. Trump and Pence were elected President and Vice President of the United States. Trump's populist positions in opposition to illegal immigration and various trade agreements, such as the Trans-Pacific Partnership, earned him support especially among voters who were male, white, blue-collar and those without college degrees. Many of Trump's remarks were controversial and helped his campaign garner extensive coverage by the mainstream media, trending topics, and social media. Trump constantly classified the media as fake news. For this reason, he announced all the decisions via Twitter.
Question. Since you're Mr. President-elect, since you are attacking our news organization, can you give us a chance? You are attacking our news organization. Can you give us a chance to ask a question, sir?
Go ahead.
Sir, can you state, Mr. President-elect, can you state categorically, Mr. President-elect, can you give us a question? You're attacking us. Can you give us a question?
Don't be rude.
Can you give us a question?
I'm not going to give you a question.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Can you state categorically?
You are fake news.
Fake news, folks. Fake news.
What's your message today?
Typical New York Times fake stories.
We'll get it. Just because of the attack of fake news and attacking our network, I just want to ask you, sir.
I'm changing it from fake news, though.
Doesn't that undermine...
Very fake news.
I know, but aren't you...
Go ahead.
Real news, Mr. President. Real news.
Trump's disdain for political correctness was a staple theme of his campaign and proved popular among his supporters. Many, including some mainstream commentators and some prominent Republicans, viewed him as appealing to racism, a charge that Trump has repeatedly denied. Trump's most polarizing and widely reported proposals were about issues of immigration and border security, especially his proposed deportation of all illegal immigrants, the proposed construction of a substantial wall on the Mexico-United States border, and his characterizations of many illegal Mexican immigrants as criminals, drug dealers, rapists. Trump also imposed a temporary ban on foreign Muslims entering the USA. Trump critics briefly accused him of the following: anti-immigrant and anti-Muslim policies, his behavior toward critics, and his treatment of the media. Although some prominent Republican leaders declined to endorse Trump after he won the Republican nomination, many Republican Congress members showed support for Trump and his policy positions despite major personal or political conflicts with him. During his presidency, Trump made many firsts. On December 22, 2018, the federal government was partially shut down after Trump declared that any funding extension must include $5.6 billion in federal funds for a USA-Mexico border wall to partly fulfill his campaign promise. The shutdown caused an estimated 380,000 government employees to be furloughed, while an estimated 420,000 government employees worked without getting paid. On January 2019, the Senate and the House unanimously approved a temporary funding bill that provided no funds for the wall but would provide delayed paychecks to government workers. Trump signed the bill that day, ending the shutdown at 35 days. It was the longest U.S. government shutdown in history. Also, Trump is the third U.S. president to face a Senate impeachment trial, after Andrew Johnson and Bill Clinton. The impeachment inquiry against Donald Trump, the incumbent president of the United States, was initiated by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi on September 24, 2019, after a whistleblower alleged that Trump may have abused the power of the presidency. Trump was accused of withholding military aid as a means of pressuring newly elected President of Ukraine Volodymyr Zelensky to pursue investigations of Joe Biden and his son Hunter and to investigate a conspiracy theory that Ukraine, not Russia, was behind interference in the 2016 presidential election. More than a week after Trump had put a hold on the previously approved aid, he made these requests in a July 25 phone call with the Ukrainian president, which the whistleblower said was intended to help Trump's re-election bid. After an inquiry between September to November 2019, President Trump was impeached by the U.S. House of Representatives on December 18, 2019. The articles of impeachment charge him of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. On February 5, the Senate acquitted Trump on both impeachment articles, as neither article obtained the support of a two-thirds supermajority of senators. Only a Republican senator voted against Trump. Senator Mitt Romney became the first U.S. senator in history to cast a vote to convict and remove the president of their own political party from office. Nowadays, in reaction to mass protests and civil unrest in response to the police killing of George Floyd, Trump publicly suggested invoking the Insurrection Act and deploying military forces within certain American cities to maintain law and order. On June 1, 2020, federal law enforcement officials used batons, rubber bullets, pepper spray projectiles, stun grenades, and smoke to remove a crowd from Lafayette Square, outside the White House, ordered by Attorney General William Barr. Trump then walked to St. John's Episcopal Church, where Ashburton House had experienced a small fire in one room the night before, according to the church's rector. Trump posed for photographs holding a Bible in front of Ashburton House, with cabinet members later joining him in photos. Trump did not enter the church during this appearance. Religious leaders condemned the treatment of protesters and the photo opportunity itself. Meanwhile, many retired military leaders and retired defense officials condemned Trump's proposal to use the U.S. military against the protesters. Thread and thrum: Trump is a president who keeps the world's agenda busy. Each tweet he writes starts a separate discussion. For the sake of his fans, he can die, but those who do not like can leave the country because of him. Surveys showed Trump as 5-6 points behind Biden in the 2020 general elections. However, it was predicted that Hillary Clinton would make a difference in the 2016 elections, including polling exit surveys. In short, the days of excitement and political conflict are waiting for us. We also want to ask you your opinion. Do you think Donald Trump is an angel or a devil? Our next video will be about George Floyd. Stay tuned. The sources of all the information said in this video are given in the description section. Please comment to make corrections or additions. If you still have not subscribed, you can subscribe and like the video. Take care yourself. Ciao ciao.